morning, everybody, and welcome to the Apothecary Draft House here in Jacksonville, Alabama. It's time for another edition of Jack State Live and the Rich Rodriguez Show. We're happy to have you along with us tonight, and we're tickled to hopefully hear from you as our phone lines are open. Area code 256-369-1688. That's 256-369-1688. I'm Eli Gold. Great to be here with you today. And we've got tons to talk about. Of course, over the weekend, the football team with that impressive 44-7 victory over Southern Mississippi on homecoming Saturday. We'll talk much more about that when Coach Rich Rodriguez joins us here in about 30 minutes from now. But it was a performance that everybody enjoyed, and we'll talk more about that when the coach gets here. Soccer, they've been busy. They exploded for 5 goals in the second half over the weekend, and they beat Talladega College 6-0, and then they backed that up with a win today over Mississippi Valley State University by a final of 8-2. So things going well now as they're putting the ball on the back of the net, and the ladies doing well. Next up on the schedule for the soccer team, they'll face Sam Houston State Thursday, and then a matinee on Sunday, that is, Louisiana Tech at 1 o'clock. Hope you can check things out if you're in the area. Jack State's going to begin conference play in volleyball this week. They open up with Western Kentucky on Friday and Saturday of this week. That's at the Pete Matthews Coliseum. There will be coverage on ESPN+, and that right now is going to be a tough way to open up conference play because the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky selected as the preseason pick to repeat as Conference USA champions this season. Meanwhile, Jacksonville State returned to action with the Firehawk Invitational this past weekend. There were 7 Gamecocks participating in that match, in that run in Oakville, Alabama. And then, of course, in golf. Last week, we were about to go off the air as they were winding things up in Manhattan, Kansas, and the Jack State men's golf team was the runner-up at the Wildcat Invitational hosted by Kansas State. Meanwhile, now this week, they're in Oneonta, Alabama, and that golf tournament has the men's golf team currently in 7th place overall. They were at 5 under yesterday, 6 under today, and that is the way things have been shaping up there. And they are showing some pretty good performances individually as well. So that's what's going on with the men's golf team in Oneonta, Alabama. So you're up to date on what's taken place thus far. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about a sport at which I don't excel, but, you know, not many people do. We're going to talk golf, and that's coming up. We've got the Jack State Director of Golf and the women's golf coach, Robbie Fields. He'll join us when we come back to the Apothecary Draft House here in Jacksonville, Alabama. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
What can you buy for $10? A hat? A milkshake? 166 channels plus live sports? That's right, for only $10 you can get 166 channels of classic TV shows and movies, including the latest news update from all around the world and local sports. Just simply go to 24ctn.com and click download, and then for only $10 you can have access to the best TV available.
Come out and check out the Alabama Tractor Difference. We can take care of all your needs of parts, sales, and service for RTVs, zero turns, and tractors and construction equipment. See us here in Lincoln at 620 Speedway Industrial Drive. Or come visit us here in Asheville at 275 6th Avenue, or give us a call at 205-594-7000.
I want to live. The leading cause of death of young Americans like me is gun violence, and oftentimes tied to substance misuse. NBA, NFL, NCAA. Most of you look like me, and our communities need you now more than ever. Let's make I Want to Live more than just a hashtag. Let's make it a movement. I am a baller against bullets.
Welcome back to the Apothecary, the draft house here on the square, excuse me, on the square in Jacksonville, Alabama. You see the phone number at the top right of your screen for those of you joining us on the TV side. And for those of you on radio, 256-369-1688. That's 256-369-1688. And we're joined now to open up the show by a man who was elevated to the position of director of golf, along with the fact that he's also the women's golf coach. And we're happy to have him with us here today. Robbie Fields is here. Good to see you, Coach. How you doing?
I am great. Thank you for having me.
Sure. Tell me about the director of golf element of your job. What exactly is that?
Yeah, so when the head men's coach position came open and through the search this summer, I talked with Greg Seitz about, once we got past a certain point where I wanted to be able to implement stuff that we had done on our women's side and been successful with over the last 2 years, and kind of put my touch on the men's team as well. So, basically I get to participate and help out with the men's team and with Coach Elliott, who we brought on, and get to see the success and be a part of what they're doing so far.
Silas Elliott is the golf coach for the men's side. Do you guys have basic philosophical agreements, or did you come in and say, you might want to try this, or you possibly want to do that? How did that initial meeting go?
What was so great about Silas, we grew up playing golf together, and so I knew from the get-go that he was somebody that that we would see eye to eye. Now there's some elements of being a men's golf coach that are different from coaching the ladies. So, we do have some differences, but for the most part, we see a lot eye to eye on those things.
And what might those differences be based on gender?
So with the guys, you definitely got to be a little tougher on them. I'm a little bit softer, obviously, with the ladies. They don't take being screamed at quite as well as some of the guys can, and a lot of that's with the ladies we're working with. They're not as, they didn't grow up playing football or basketball as much as, our men's players are. And so they're a little more used to some of that rough love. And with the girls, we just, we're a little bit softer hearted on them, and a lot more of the love towards them.
Exactly. And you most recently were in East Carolina, in Greenville, North Carolina, a nice community. I've been there many times. How was it there for you, and why make the move to Jack State?
Yeah, I loved it. When Coach Hobbs told me he was retiring, and put the idea.
That's James Hobbs, for those who don't know, was here for like 45 years.
He was here a while.
Yes.
And so when he had told me, I told CC Buford, the head coach I worked for at ECU, that this was something I was wanting to explore. But I told her, I said, I don't want to be a head coach. I'm not ready to leave ECU. I'd only been there 3 years, felt like there was more I wanted to do, and went through the process and talking with Greg Seitz, Greg Bonds, and just the opportunity here based on what Coach Hobbs, the foundation he had laid. It was exciting. It didn't hurt that I'm now 2 hours from home, and not 10 hours like I was before. And
exactly.
So there's a lot of that also went into it as well. But I loved my time there, but certainly happy to be here now.
Compare this, if you would, and again, we're not talking, I know we're talking Power 4 versus Group of 5, but the golf here versus, for instance, Mississippi State, where you were in the Southeastern Conference, how different is your approach to golfing here, or is it different at all?
I would say practice is a little different.
Okay.
So when the year that I spent at Mississippi State with the team, we had a very American-heavy team, and so that they aren't as experienced in practice as, say, like our two Scandinavians on our women's team here.
Sure.
And so we have to coach them how to practice a lot more, and they come from team sport background, so we do much more team practice, whereas now with a heavy international team, they have their own ways of practicing. We individualize that a lot around what they do and how they do it and work that into the team aspect. So it's different just based on the roster more than anything else.
How do you recruit when you have people from all around the globe?
Instagram. Social media is probably the top. There are a lot of international recruiting agencies that will reach out and
Sure.
and help us out, get in contact with athletes, but so much is just done through social media.
Now, do you have headhunters all around the globe telling you, how would you know that such and such on social media is somebody you need to reach out to?
Yeah, I mean, we do our research, look at their scores, but there's a lot of, the recruiting agents that will reach out. I mean, I get probably 3 or 4 emails a day from agents of different international players saying, hey, look at these, and we sift through those at who's somebody would match our level, and work through that, build that relationship a lot through FaceTime. We do get to have a lot come on official visits, and which is really cool to show somebody from, like we've got our freshman from Abu Dhabi. She came on a visit this time last year and was amazed at what Jacksonville, Alabama was like.
Sure.
And so it's cool building that relationship, but it's not as much done in person as with recruiting Americans.
I hear you. Robbie Fields is with us. He is Jack State's director of golf and the women's golf coach. We're going to come right back and we'll continue our chat. We've got Rich Rodriguez, the football coach, joining us at the top of the hour. But don't go away, and if you'd like to join us, 256-369-1688. 256-369-1688. You're listening to Jack State Live on the Gamecocks Sports Network.
I need to try it first.
The Civilian Marksmanship Program, also known as CMP, is a national organization dedicated to training and educating U.S. citizens in responsible uses of firearms and air guns through gun safety training, marksmanship training, and competitions. Their vision is to lead the nation in marksmanship excellence, providing safe, high-quality, and innovative programs with a focus on youth. For more information about the CMP and upcoming events, visit thecmp.org.
Eli Gold here, ready for a winning drive? Go see my friends at Cooper Chevy Buick. Choose from hundreds of new Chevys and Buicks, including a great selection of Car Bravo certified used. Score big with low finance rates and ask about their guaranteed credit approval program. Get top dollar for your trade, no matter the yardage. Your road to victory starts today at Cooper Chevrolet Buick in Anniston or online, cooperchevrolet.com. Official sponsor of JSU Athletics.
Brud Martin Young Oil, serving East Alabama for over 80 years. Come into one of our many locations throughout East Alabama and try our Joe Bell's coffee along with some Olio's donuts. From Center to Jacksonville to Auburn and everywhere in between, Brud Mart is here for you.
I need to try it first.
Welcome back inside the Apothecary Draft House here in Jacksonville, Alabama. Jack State Live and the Rich Rodriguez Show coming your way as per usual here on Monday night. And we are joined now by the Jack State Director of Golf and the women's golf coach, Robbie Fields. Coach, tell me about your facility at Silver Lakes. How difficult or how fair of a layout is that?
Difficult's a great word to use. Fair is not.
Okay.
It is by far the hardest golf course we see in the year during the
Really?
season. Yeah, it's such an advantage for us to be able to go out there, and the access and the what we're able to do out there is amazing. Jason and the trail, they take great care of us. But it's so nice because we can do so many different things on the golf course and set it up a million different ways. But it's a challenge. The one struggle we have out there is practicing going low because the golf course is just so hard there. For the ladies especially, there's not a ton of low numbers unless we just put them all the way up on the front tees, which we'll do sometimes. But it definitely is very useful as a challenge.
I dare say, though, that'll help you when, for instance, this week you head to Greenville, North Carolina, and you tackle the country club there. What kind of a course is that?
So luckily I have plenty of experience
Yes, you
there.
sure do.
And that's actually where I played a lot of my own golf, played with the member group out there. So I've played it obviously plenty and coached out there. Shelly Chen, our graduate assistant, played in that tournament twice as a player as well. So it'll be one that we hope to go low, that we want to see a lot of low numbers. It's a shorter course, pretty straightforward. And, you know, based on the way that we played at Penn State and the way that we've been practicing the last couple weeks since, I feel like we've got some low numbers coming real close.
Again, we're visiting with Jack State's Director of Golf and the women's golf coach, Robbie Fields. We mentioned James Hobbs before, the 45-year Hall of Fame coach who you replaced. What do you do when you show up to fill those kind of shoes? What was your first step to put your fingerprints on the program?
Well, they were big shoes, metaphorically and physically.
Yes.
We've still got a few pair of 14 shoes in storage, I think I got to take to him. But, you know, the number one thing is Coach Hobbs was a fantastic recruiter and brought from a coaching standpoint from his basketball days a toughness. And my background being in golf instruction, my fingerprint I put on it was much more of a detail and intent on the practice and the player development side of things. So, you know, balancing his great recruiting with now adding in some skill development as we go as well.
Now, when you worked as a, not that you're old, but as a younger man, when you worked at Sea Island and Crooked Stick and so on, was that your number one responsibility, golf instruction?
Once I got to, it was working for Hank Johnson in Birmingham, the late Hank Johnson, that was probably the most important 8 months of my college career.
Really?
Because he was, I guess, about 75 at that time and didn't get around real well. So my responsibility was to be a part of every one of his lessons. And he would sit in his chair and he could see everything and he could do it by sound. It was amazing. He was one of the best ever. But he would tell me what to do, and then I would then go and put the player in that position. So that was my main responsibility with him, also teaching some junior golf. Much more of the early internships, Crooked Stick and Sea Island, were a lot more observing and shadowing the instructors there and learning. And so working for Hank was the first time to really get to put it into practice on my own some.
People ask me all the time, what's your handicap? And I'll say showing up is my handicap. How about for you, though? What's the strength of your game?
My game now that I don't play near as often as I would like to is still my short game because I do so much of it with the team at practice when I'm showing them things. And so it makes me feel really good about myself when I go and hit a shot and they're like, oh my gosh, coach, like, you know, you're not playing golf and you can still hit that. So that always gives me a little bit of an ego boost when I'm able to pull off one of those shots in front of them.
When we come back, we'll talk about the upcoming schedule for the women's golf team. We'll also touch base just a bit with the director of golf here and talk about the men as well. So don't go away. We continue on Jack State Live and the Rich Rodriguez Show. We'd love for you to call in at 256-369-1688. We're back in a moment on the Gamecocks Sports Network.
Whether it's family for dinner or game time, it's time for Johnson's Giant Foods Deli. All you have to do is drop by Johnson's Giant Foods and grab whatever you want hot and ready to go. Chicken salad and chicken fingers to die for. Savory ribs, salad, dessert, you name it. It's waiting for you and your family or friends. Johnson's Giant Foods with 5 locations in Gadsden, Atala, Jacksonville, and Coldwater.
The weather is warming up and spring is just around the corner at Miller Sand and Landscape Supply. I'm Craig Miller and we've got something for everyone. From bulk materials like sand, gravel, and mulch to beautiful outdoor decor to make your outdoor living space the envy of the neighborhood. See our beautiful selection of Mazzarelli fountains, flowers to brighten your garden, and an outdoor center loaded with beautiful decor. Whether you need a little or a lot, visit Miller Sand and Landscape Supply.
Serving East Alabama for over 20 years, Samco is your local convenient, clean, and friendly gas station. Fill up your tank with gas, diesel, or your favorite snacks and drinks. Samco has 48 locations to serve you in Calhoun, Etowah, Marshall, Talladega, and Cleburne counties. Samco is a proud community leader in giving back to help support local schools in East Alabama. For your convenient, clean, and friendly gas station needs, it's Samco.
The Point at JSU is an off-campus student housing property located a half a mile away from Jacksonville State University. The Point offers fully furnished, pet-friendly, 2 bedrooms and 4 bedroom units. Resident experience is our #1 priority, therefore we do offer the following amenities: a resort-style pool, fitness center, basketball and volleyball court, and dog park. We would love for you to come see our property, so give us a call at 256-376-8317 to schedule a tour today.
The Apothecary Draft House in downtown on the square in Jacksonville, Alabama. We'd love for you to join us here in person one Monday night. Come on by and be here, or call in at 256-369-1688. The Jack State Director of Golf is joining us, Robbie Fields, who, despite being the women's golf coach, was smiling when I said, let's talk a little bit about the men's program, because between Manhattan, Kansas last week, Aniana this week, they've been playing some pretty good golf.
Yeah, they, really excited how they bounced back. They had a rough start in Ruston, their first tournament, but then, knocked some of that off and starting to see some low scores. A very senior-heavy roster with 1 freshman in there, in the lineup at least. And so seeing them get some low numbers, obviously building some confidence, playing, Riley and Devin right now playing some really great golf at Limestone Springs. So excited to see what they're doing so far this year.
Yeah, Devin's been hitting the ball well again today as they look for the next round coming up tomorrow in Aniana. How much can you tamper, or do you risk tampering with somebody's stroke and their swing?
I have a lot of contact with their personal swing coaches when it comes to their golf swing, and so there's not much that I do without having talked to them about it first.
So they all have personal swing coaches.
Yeah, again, I haven't been doing this a long time, but I've been doing it enough, and I've had 2 players both times at ECU that I was their swing coach, but it's very rare to have something like that. But I'm the one that's hands-on with them every day. Do a lot of videos, send it to their coaches, phone calls, FaceTimes, a lot of that kind of stuff. But when it comes to short game and putting, we have a little more freedom because they don't work as much on that with their coaches. So that's what I feel like is one of my strengths as well anyway. So I'll give a lot more input when it comes to short game and putting.
It's interesting. A lot of folks probably had the same reaction I did. I said, I've heard, of course, of swing coaches on the pro tours. Yeah. I didn't realize it trickled down into collegiate golf.
Oh, you've got 7-year-olds with swing coaches at this point. I mean,
really?
There are some that they, in my opinion, start them way too young. I think I wish that everybody would learn to just play golf first and then learn the golf swing second. I think that's something we're losing in the game of golf. But obviously technology and knowledge has gotten so much better that nobody wants to get left behind that way early on. But no, 99% of college players have their own swing coach that's not their college coach.
Interesting. You know, the thing that always got me when I was out on the course, I'd keep hitting that windmill as the ball, you know, as it was, as I was trying to putt it and make a nice.
You probably only have one club that you're using in the golf that you're playing too.
Exactly. No, I've got some great golf stories. I'll tell you a quick one here. Not that you cared, but I'll tell you one anyway. I was at a golf tournament, and I'm terrible. As I could make Charles Barkley look like Jack Nicklaus, okay? I'm terrible. I get up there, and I'm just playing typical awful. I get up there on the 5th hole, true story. I get up there, and I swing, and I guess the golf gods were just looking down on me and smiling. And I must have done everything perfectly, man. This shot went 350 yards. I mean, Jim Dent or John Daly, they would have loved it. It was straight as could be. It was so high and so far. It should have had a flight attendant on board. It was magnificent. Everybody's going, oh, man, ooh, ah. Problem was, it was a par 3, 165-yard hole. And the last I saw of the ball, it was disappearing over some lady's house. It went out onto Highway 421 in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, and started rolling towards Winston-Salem. So that's the last time I saw that golf ball. But, man, it looked good getting out of the joint.
I bet it did.
Yeah. Well, listen, coming up next, the Pirate Intercollegiate tournament at East Carolina. Then you've got a tournament at Savannah. You've got one in Hattiesburg. Then, of course, you'll host the Chris Bannister tournament coming up at Silver Lakes in March. We look forward to hearing some great things about your team, and all the best to you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Coach, great to see you. Robbie Fields, Jack State's Director of Golf and the Women's Golf Coach. And we're back. Rich Rodriguez at the top of the hour. That's just 3 minutes away.
Hey everybody, I'm Bill Bubba Bussey, one of the assistant athletic directors here at Jack State and the director of broadcasting. We always want you to come out to the games. There's nothing that can replace the sights, sounds, and interaction of being at a football game. But if you can't make it, we offer several options to bring the action to you. Many of the Jack State games are broadcast nationally on TV. The other home games we produce in-house and can be seen on ESPN Plus streaming platform, hosted by legendary broadcaster Eli Gold. If you're driving or have your hands full, we also offer radio coverage through the Gamecock Radio Network. The coverage you hear from the voice of the Gamecocks, Mike Paris. Mike has put you in the middle of some of the biggest and best moments in Jack State history for over 40 years. You can find more information at jackstatesports.com. And for now, enjoy the game and go Gamecocks.
What can you buy for $10? A hat? A milkshake? 166 channels plus live sports? That's right, for only $10 you can get 166 channels of classic TV shows and movies, including the latest news update from all around the world and local sports. Just simply go to 24ctn.com and click download, and then for only $10 you can have access to the best TV available.
Come out and check out the Alabama Tractor Difference. We can take care of all your needs of parts, sales, and service for RTVs, zero turns, and tractors and construction equipment. See us here in Lincoln at 620 Speedway Industrial Drive. Or come visit us here in Asheville at 275 6th Avenue, or give us a call at 205-594-7000.
I want to live. The leading cause of death of young Americans like me is gun violence, and oftentimes tied to substance misuse. NBA, NFL, NCAA, most of you look like me, and our communities need you now more than ever. Let's make I want to live more than just a hashtag. Let's make it a movement. I am a baller against bullets.
Welcome back, everybody. The Apothecary Draft House is the site of the Rich Rodriguez Show, and we are thrilled to have the coach with us after a outstanding homecoming Saturday at Amherst Stadium. Well done there, my friend. Good job.
Thank you. Well, I was a little nervous because they just gave me something to drink, said Liquid Death.
Yeah. It's some kind of water, they tell me.
If we'd have lost, there's no way I would be drinking this, just so you know.
I hear you.
But no, this is great. Tastes great, too. But no, it was a good win. I thought our guys had a pretty good week of practice. And, we needed to play better, obviously, in all three phases. And so got off to a good start. Got a couple turnovers. And the energy was really good all day. I mean, had a good crowd. The crowd really gave us a good lift. And it was fun to watch the guys play better.
Folks, if you want to join the conversation, 256-369-1688. That's 256-369-1688. And I'll tell you, you don't even know where to start. There were so many things that went well. Let's talk about the transition from the first three games to what we saw on Saturday. What did you tell the guys during the week? What did you feed them or let them have to drink to get them all?
Yeah, it really wasn't as much, rah-rah motivational talk as it was, just talking to our guys about being hungry to get better. We saw some improvements in each week, but we just didn't see enough of it. And that's true from coaches too. We had to continue to be able to stress our fundamentals, stress the things that we knew we could do. And by this point, 3 or 4 games into it, you ought to have a pretty good idea what you guys can or can't do well, right? And so we kind of limited it that a little bit in our game plan, and they executed it better.
They really did. Everybody had a good job. I don't know where to start talking about individuals. Lelete Hale had himself an outstanding ball game.
I told our staff this morning, Hale and Hughes, Reggie and Lelete played linebacker like Division I linebackers play.
Exactly.
I mean, from beginning of the game to the end of the game, and even when they made a mistake, they were making a full speed. They were really, really physical. And those are two physical guys anyway, and they love football. But those two really stood out to me before I watched the film, and particularly after I watched the film.
Sure. And Lelete is, you talk about a guy who's a veteran. What's it like, 54 games now that he's played?
And he's the guy, probably the guy on defense that we kind of go to as far as having to be the communicator.
Right.
He loves football and just really proud. That's kind of what you want to hope. And so this day and age in college, you see a guy go from a freshman to sophomore, and I've seen him go from our first year when he's a young guy to being a senior now and a leader, and everybody really respects him.
And a lot of folks wanted him. He's not just a flash in the pan. Arkansas State wanted him, Central Florida, Middle Tennessee, obviously JSU. A lot of folks saw that potential in him.
Yeah, and the biggest thing for Lelete, like a lot of our seniors, you hope that they have their best year, their senior year. I think the greatest honor to be in college athletic is to complete your senior year where you started it and have success. And that's what he's done. He's worked hard. He's had a transition of coaches, position coaches, coordinators, head coaches, and he's handled it all really, really well.
And, of course, that defense of which you mentioned Hughes and Hale and so many others, Kaiwan McCray, J-Rock, a lot of the guys had roles in this, holding Southern Miss to just 1 of 10 in third down conversions. I don't care if you're playing out here in front of the restaurant. You're going to win ball games.
Yeah, and the biggest thing was the 5 interceptions. We got lucky with the 1 fumble at the end of the half there, but the 5 interceptions that was the key to the game. It turned the ball right back over to our offense. On a hot day like it was, and making them go back on the field and play defense, and because it was hot. It was a struggle, and we thought the more we could get them out there and try to get them to have to play defense with that heat and our tempo to help us.
Do you think the wood chips helped?
Not really.
No.
My feet were still burning.
Were they?
Actually, at the end of the game, when the official said, "Coach, talked about those wood chips," I said, "Yeah." He said, "I don't think they're working." But well, I think it was. It probably cooled it down maybe 5 or 10 degrees. But it was a hot day, and that's why I really appreciate the great crowd we had, because it was, it was hot the whole time, and our fans were great, and our team responded to it.
It really did. We've got so much to discuss, and again, if you'd like to be with us in conversation, 256-369-1688. That's 256 369-1688. I love that play right there. You got the big guy, Brock Rex Steiner, taking off and gone, hit him in stride. It was a beautiful play.
Yeah, Brock's one of the hardest workers on the team. I know we talked about him earlier in one of the other shows, but
yes.
You know, he loves football. You know, he's a guy that we have a lot of respect for. The players have a lot of respect for. And again, he's like the rest of them. He's a better football player now than he was a month ago, and certainly better than he was a year ago. And he helps us not only on offense, but he's on a lot of our special teams as well.
And at 6'2", 225, he's got size.
And pound for pound, one of the strongest guys on the team. I think he had one of his, somebody said this social media thing was going viral, him all muscled up and stuff.
Really?
You know, one of his graphics. So he's doing the family proud. You know,
there you go.
He's got a great family and very supportive, and I love the way Brock approaches his game.
Have you met Scott Steiner? I dare say you have.
I met a lot of the family, and they've got extended friends and family all over the country. You know, it's a really neat family that's had great success. And you know what the neat part about it is, you know, you could tell that, you know, that he was raised up into working hard and proving and earning himself, and it was really neat to see.
Just saw Reginald Hughes there with a nice tackle, 6 tackles, a sack, 2.5 tackles for loss, couple of quarterback hurries. He did everything but drive the bus to the stadium.
Reggie, we thought that when we saw them, this is a guy that loves football. You know, you got to find the right spot for him at linebacker, whether it's inside or outside, and he could probably play both. But again, it was his first year in the system.
Sure.
And he's really come a long way in the last couple months. You know, he's a very excitable guy. He loves playing, and I think with him and Hale, you know, like I said, those 2 linebackers played as good as any linebackers we've had in the 2-3 years I've been here.
And of course, on the offensive side, we just saw Trey Stewart run for one of his 2 touchdowns. Anwar had a couple of TDs. I mean, you got the production you wanted.
Yeah, and we talked about Trey last week. It's really good to see. He's a, you know, most of you probably didn't see, there was a couple times where he was as physical as anybody on the field. He did a chip block on a defensive end, which was phenomenal. And Trey loves to play. He's got a lot of respect, and Anwar did some good things as well. And those 2 kind of carried it for us at the running back spot.
And you take a look at all the different defense. Derek Carter right there. That was as textbook of a open field tackle as you're going to see.
Yeah, we tackled better. You know, we had been, you know, we poor tackling in the first game, average tackling in the second game. The third game a little bit better, but this was the best we had tackled, and we needed to do that. And that's going to be the key in this next game and going forward, because we're playing a lot of talented skill guys, not just running backs, but quarterbacks and receivers, so we got to tackle well.
Rodemaker, the starting quarterback for Southern Miss, he's the kid who transferred in from Florida State. And, I mean, very quickly. And, again, I know he may not have been 100% health-wise, but still, he was healthy enough to start, and you guys were quick enough to shut him right down.
Yeah, the 2 picks, I think, probably hurt his confidence a little bit, and then they made the change, and the other guy was a little bit more athletic. They had another quarterback that wasn't their regular backup, didn't make the trip. He must have got hurt in the first game. But Rodemaker was a guy that, you know, that had thrown around a little bit, had a little bit of experience. And the other guy they put in and competed. But our defense, I think it early, got to him a little bit early with the 2 interceptions, and so they made the switch.
Tyler Huff over the weekend had himself an outstanding day. He carried the ball 11 times for 77 yards and a touchdown. He was 14 of 16 passing, 236 yards and a touchdown. And if you do the math on that, and for the season now, Tyler has run for 269 yards. He's thrown for 880. That totals out to the number 2 numbers, averaging 5.6 yards per play, yards per carry in Conference USA.
Yeah, sneaky good runner, as he's shown in the last couple of weeks. Very efficient at whatever he was, 14 for 16. You know, and had a couple mistakes. Obviously, the interception you want to have back, but he's growing in our system. Every week I see a little bit better things that he's seeing in the field, and so I thought he played really efficient and really well, and that's going to be the key. Again, we got Logan got a few reps. I'd like to get Zion in there as well, but Tyler Huff is playing good football for us, and that's a good thing to see.
What's the status on Zion Turner, the number 3 quarterback? He's ready to go?
Yeah, he's ready to go. Phil, I had no qualms whatsoever if he goes in the game. The same with Logan. But Tyler's been hot, and you know, like I said, there's a few more things we need to do offensively, and there's a few things that Tyler can improve on. but I love the way he competes, and he's got a lot of respect because of that.
Yeah. We're visiting with Coach Rich Rodriguez. If you'd like to be part of the show, 256-369-1688. We're going to break away, take care of some business, then we'll come right back. So don't leave us now. You're listening to the Rich Rodriguez Show on the Gamecocks Sports Network.
I need to try it first.
The Civilian Marksmanship Program, also known as CMP, is a national organization dedicated to training and educating U.S. citizens in responsible uses of firearms and air guns through gun safety training, marksmanship training, and competitions. Their vision is to lead the nation in marksmanship excellence, providing safe, high-quality, and innovative programs with a focus on youth. For more information about the CMP and upcoming events, visit thecmp.org.
Eli Gold here, ready for a winning drive? Go see my friends at Cooper Chevy Buick. Choose from hundreds of new Chevys and Buicks, including a great selection of Car Bravo certified used. Score big with low finance rates and ask about their guaranteed credit approval program. Get top dollar for your trade, no matter the yardage. Your road to victory starts today at Cooper Chevrolet Buick in Anniston or online, cooperchevrolet.com. Official sponsor of JSU Athletics.
Grub Mart and Young Oil, serving East Alabama for over 80 years. Come into one of our many locations throughout East Alabama and try our Joe Bell's coffee along with some Olio's donuts. From Center to Jacksonville to Auburn and everywhere in between, Grub Mart is here for you.
I need to try it first.
Nightfall having descended upon the Apothecary here in downtown Jacksonville on the square. I'm Eli Gold, Coach Rich Rodriguez alongside. And if you'd like to be part of the program, feel free to call in 256-369-1688. 256-369-1688. Let's discuss Trey Stewart and Anwar Lewis, both talented, so I'm not trying to ask you to comment one versus the other, but how do they differ?
They're a little different. Obviously, Trey's a little bigger. Anwar's probably a little faster and flat-out speed. Anwar's got a little more experience in the system, but Trey's a fast learner. You know, like I said, this is his first year, and really been impressed how he's picked things up. And then, you know, Andrew Paul was hurt, so he didn't dress out. So we know those were the two guys that got it. It was good to get Mike Franklin in there at the end, get a few reps. He's our biggest, most physical guy. But Anwar and Trey, we feel like we got two pretty solid starters right there.
Yeah, Mike Franklin at 6'2", 225. It was nice. I had to go into the depth chart at one time and just start digging down through numbers. Yeah, that's the one benefit of a game like that. You're up comfortably, and you get to play a lot of guys.
Yeah, we got some of the coaches wanted to get the guys in early, but I'm always a little nervous until there's 5 or 6 minutes left to go in the game. I've seen too much stuff happen, but we got a lot of the twos got some valuable reps, and then we rotated a lot of guys in. Whether it was receiver or DB or linebacker or even on O-line, we were repping guys, rolling some guys in there in the first half, just not because of the score, just simply because we need to see them play.
Sure, and tight ends, man, you use just about everybody in the building.
Yeah, I had 5 tight ends, got to play a little bit, and we're using 2 at a time at the end of the game, so we got a pretty good group there.
And, it was nice to see Cole Fuller get in, if for no other reason than his grandfather, Rusty, played tight end.
Yeah, Rusty's a great supporter of ours, and Cole is one of the toughest guys on the team. He'll do he's on just about every special teams because he's a tough guy. He works really hard. He's one of the strongest guys on the team, and again, he had another solid performance.
When you get to be picking those intercepts, as the team did this weekend, What were they reading? Was it strictly looking at the eyes?
A couple times they were just gifts. You know, the quarterback had a little pressure and he threw it up.
Threw it up for grabs.
So
yeah.
That happened a couple times. That the one that Jabari Mack made on the man coverage was a phenomenal play. That's one that you usually don't get when you're playing man coverage. You just want the guy to rake the ball out, but he had enough time and enough awareness to get his head around just in time to pick it off. So I thought that was a big time interception as well. And then we had another one, but it was taken out for a pass interference, and that was a legitimate call. I mean, I thought the first pass interference penalty was a bad call until I saw it on film when we did tug the shirt a little bit. But a lot of holding and grabbing gets going on a little bit, and sometimes those guys get away with it. But we challenged our corners in this game a little bit more with some of the coverages we were doing, and I thought they responded pretty well.
Yeah, you got good play, Jameer Latimer.
Jameer Latimer has been a solid guy.
Yeah.
You know, we're probably deeper at corner. We have, Jameer Latimer obviously is a starter. Jabari Mack is considered a starter. Derek Carter we consider a starter as well. And then Fred Davis. Fred's a new guy that's getting a lot of playing time as well. So we've got a pretty good rotation there.
When these guys come in from elsewhere, Coach, you mentioned Fred Davis. When he comes in from Clemson or Central Florida, he played at both. Does he ever offer suggestions of, hey, we did this at the other school? Might you think about that?
Not really.
No?
I mean, we'll listen to anybody that has ideas or suggestions. Like particularly, well, you mentioned that, like with the quarterbacks, like whether it's Tyler where he was at, or Logan where he was at, or even Zion. That's probably the guys we talk the most about. Hey, what are the things you're comfortable with or done before and all that? The other positions, maybe a little bit, but the biggest thing is that we still have to, as coaches, we got to understand they're still freshmen in our program and in our system, and so it takes them a little bit of while. And I think it wasn't just the first 3 weeks. I mean, I still think some of those guys are adjusting a little bit, but they're all, I think, from day one. From the beginning of summer workouts all the way through camp, their attitude has been really, really good, and that's a good part. They're fun to work with.
I talked to some of the guys from Southern Miss before the game, and they were saying, the biggest problem that Southern Miss had during the week was replicating the Jack State offense through their scout team. He said, we didn't have the speed to get the offense going in such rapid fashion, and that has been an earmark of yours for years.
Yeah, we've always thought that's hard. It's hard to duplicate any team's offense per se, no matter what kind of system you run. But the tempo thing kind of adds a little extra difficulty to it a lot of times because you got to look at a card, you got to know what the play is, and so going at the same pace. And we haven't gone. I don't know what our numbers are. I think they're okay as far as their tempo goes, but we haven't. We haven't gone as fast as we can, or what we will, hopefully, in the future.
Those cards, you mentioned them, the ones that the guys hold up on the sidelines, is, without giving away any trade secrets here, is there one hot card? Is it the combination that they're looking at?
No, when we put the guys up behind with the thing, that's just to cover the guys in the box from seeing the signals.
No, that I understand.
And then if we're putting any signs up, that's just all show.
All show?
Yeah, we don't. Everything, we have multiple signal guys. That's what we do.
Yeah.
We have more than one guy. That's the key. When you're going to have a guy signal, even with the headpiece in, because we go no huddle, you still have to signal in.
Yeah.
But we have multiple guys in multiple shirts signaling. And so we change who's live all the time, and so they don't know which guy to kind of focus on. And the key to that is also if you're being the dummy signaler, you've got to do some signals that would look like some of the signals. You can't just go there and flap your arms all the time. Okay, they know you're the dummy signaler. So our guys, we've done that since beginning of training camp, of having multiple guys be different signal guys by series, and so our guys get used to that.
And that's how you do it, basically by series?
Yeah, well, we do it by series. We do it by quarter. We could do it. We could do it. Change it in between, in the middle of the series.
I'm sure.
So our signal guys do a good job, and it's important because particularly if you get a wrong signal, it could blow up the whole play. And it's the same thing true on defense. We have multiple guys signal on defense as well.
People talk about having to be smart to play college football. Forget about the fact that the playbook can be this thick. I mean, you guys, you have to have some smarts up here to wade through all of that stuff.
Some coaches, I think, I don't know, say too smart, because they come really wordy. Like the play call could be like a whole paragraph, like 10 or 12 words. And we've always kind of shortened it down. Our play calls aren't real wordy, but you still, with that said, within that 1, 2, 3, 4 words, whatever you have, there's a lot built into it. So, and because we go fast, you don't have a lot of time to think about it.
Sure.
So once we call the play, we don't want to give it, our guys don't have 15 seconds or 10 seconds to think about it. So there is a element of I'd say more football intelligence and football awareness, and that's what you're practiced for. That's what you're supposed to coach about.
So you guys don't have X something, Y something, Z something.
Yeah, you get the old John Gruden, flip over, trips right, red block, XY banana or some kind of thing. So like, you lose me after the first 3 words.
Yeah, I hear you. What is give us a for instance call that the quarterback would use in the huddle? What do the guys hear?
Well, we'll have probably 20 to 25 one-word calls.
Really?
Where one word means everything. Now, that takes a lot of memorization during the week.
Sure.
But it's a lot easier to communicate that quickly, if that makes sense. And so I'm not going to give all them out, but our one-word call, I used to think, well, if you had 10 one-word calls that meant everything, that's a lot, for our guys to remember. But amazingly, we got 25 or so, and our guys hardly ever screw those up. So it's again, you got practice all week to do that.
Sure.
And you rep it all week, and they get it down pretty good. And once they know it, and we try to do things that relate. I think the biggest thing is that if you're going to call something, you try to make it call to where it's relatable to something and make them remember it.
Yeah.
But it is, when people talk about, and this is not just football, but any athlete, when they say, oh, these guys, they're just dumb jocks, whatever. If they realized how much they had to learn mentally and all that going on, it's a different dynamic. Because there could be, like in one play, our quarterback could have 5 different options on one play that's called one word.
Sure.
And so that part of it is pretty unique.
When you recruit, do you talk to the high school coaches about their intellect?
Oh, no question. The football intelligence.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the thing it starts off with is, does he love football?
Yeah.
Because if he loves football, he's going to do what it takes to learn and learn his assignments. But it's also sometimes, not as easy as maybe when you're looking at it as, oh, why don't he just throw it there? There might have been a change in the coverage and all that. So there's a lot behind it. I don't think you've ever can recruit a quarterback that struggles to learn. He'll always struggle in your offense. But some of them maybe struggle to learn early, and then you find a method to teach him. And if you find a method to teach him, and then hopefully that'll get him to learn. But there's a lot more to it than probably most people know.
Coach, I've been monopolizing the conversation here. We've got folks on the phone, so why don't we go to Edward in Birmingham? Hello, Edward. Welcome in. Good evening.
Hey, good evening. How are y'all?
Great. Thank you.
Coach, did you anticipate the team playing this good? I mean, they absolutely full throttled Southern Miss to the point of, it was basically a slaughter, let's be honest. What was your thoughts on how they played overall on both sides of the ball?
Yeah, I thought we had a good week, but I thought we had good weeks in the other weeks too. So But this week, I kind of sensed a little bit of an urgency from the guys. That they wanted to, they were back home. They wanted to, play better. We had, had an awful taste in our mouth for a couple weeks there. So I felt good coming into it and thought we'd have a good crowd, good energy. But it wasn't perfect, but I did, the energy that they had all week and the attention to detail that they had leading up to preparation made me feel that they was going to be pretty solid. And then, get some momentum early, right? When you get scores early and get some turnovers early, it can kind of snowball for you, and that's what happened.
Okay, thank you for your call, sir. We appreciate it. We're visiting with Coach Rich Rodriguez. If you'd like to join us, 256-369-1688. That's 256-369-1688. Have you seen film yet of many of the other teams in the conference? I know they're not on the schedule right now and so on. I'm curious how good Liberty must be going 4-0 out of the box.
Yeah, I haven't seen them. The only thing I was obviously took a peek at Kennesaw today.
Sure.
So that's what we've been doing today. So that'll be kind of our focus. But then we come back 5 days after that, I think, and play New Mexico State. So it's a quick turnaround. So we're going to take this bye week to kind of do a little bit on both of them. because they both come back to back so quickly. But Kennesaw will be our main focus during the week. And, I think our league is probably better from top to bottom than it has been, being more competitive. But also, you look at Liberty, I think they're still undefeated.
Yeah.
And they were the preseason favorites. So they've got, I think, of all the teams in the league, they probably have the most guys coming back. I mean, they have the most starters coming back. But anyway, it's going to be an interesting run. We start this midweek deal, and it's different. But I think for the league, it's pretty exciting. I think for the schools like ourselves, the national TV stuff is all pretty neat.
Can't beat it, that national exposure. Coach, we have a visitor here at the Apothecary with a question. Hello.
Hey, Coach. Anytime we play this well and you look back and you play the what-if game, you don't do that as far as, hey, if we'd have played like this, we would be. What I'd like to know are, what are the 2 or 3 things that you think made the biggest difference in that? Because that was a different team out there. I mean, at Eastern Michigan, we looked good, okay, at times, but this past Saturday, we looked great. I think, from a spectator's viewpoint.
That's a good point. As a coach, even many years that I've done this, I still like, what is that triggering factor that makes it happen? I think a lot of it was, like the second half of the Eastern Michigan, defensively started getting a little confidence. And that's what our defense is. I seen it had played better in practice. That's why I was so disappointed in the first couple weeks. And then in this game, we got a couple turnovers early, had some stops early, and so that you could see the confidence of our defense it wasn't there in the other games, was there in this game, and it kind of snowballed. And that was what I was hoping we'd see, because I knew we could play better than what we had before. And, they had an experienced quarterback in there, and we showed a few different things to them, and that kind of helped as well. Our offense, I think, was I had more worried about their confidence as much because they had their moments, but the defense had to play with more confidence and had to play, I guess, with, the best word is more of a sense of urgency, and that's what we played more with a sense of urgency defensively than the other games.
Okay, thank you, sir, for your question. We appreciate it. This week, coming up on an off weekend, what does the schedule look like? How do you change your week's worth of prep when you have no game next weekend?
Yeah, we're gonna practice tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Give them Friday off. The coaches will be recruiting. Saturday will be for us a Sunday. The way the way
sure, because you play Friday.
Because we play Friday. So Saturday we'll have some meetings and have a light practice. We'll give them Sunday off, and then Monday will be a Tuesday, and so on. So we'll get ready for that. So we get a little bit more time. This week is not just about Kennesaw, though. It's also, and I've told the coaches that today, we'll do it tomorrow, we've got to do a hard evaluation of ourselves. You know, like what can we do well? Who does this well? Who does that well? We've got to truly evaluate all phases and all their guys that are playing and see how we can make them better individually as well.
Do you self-scout all the time?
I do all the time. I probably do more self-scout than I do opponent scout. And I think it's, not one because we're different offensively, but I think that's really key for us to do. I think sometimes you get so wrapped up in your opponent and then you forget that this is what we do well, or this is what we can do or what we can't do. And so I think a lot of times the coaches, and I've been guilty of it too, need to self-scout more than you do as your opponent a lot of times.
Have you ever found, and again, I don't ask you to tell me in a particular detail, but have you found stuff where you might have had some tells that were letting the other team go?
I found stuff. Like you always watch the game. I watch the game.
Sure.
Usually if it's a away game, I'm going to watch it on the plane or the bus ride on the way home. At the latest, you're going to watch everything on Sunday, right?
Right.
And then usually you put it away. And then I will do it on a Thursday or a Friday, do a little self-scout, watch a game again. And about every time we do that, I find something that, geez, I should have watched this earlier because this is something we need to fix. So that's what this week in open weeks, you coaches got to do a good job. We've watched the game. I've watched this game, 2 or 3 times already. We got to watch it again in a day or two and then see if we have the same kind of evaluations we did yesterday and today.
We're coming right back, folks. Don't go away. We're in the midst of our post-victory show with Coach Rich Rodriguez. We're live at the Apothecary Draft House on the square here in Jacksonville, and this is the Gamecocks Sports Network.
With Whether it's family for dinner or game time, it's time for Johnson's Giant Foods Deli. All you have to do is drop by Johnson's Giant Foods and grab whatever you want hot and ready to go. Chicken salad and chicken fingers to die for. Savory ribs, salad, dessert, you name it. It's waiting for you and your family or friends. Johnson's Giant Foods with 5 locations in Gadsden, Atala, Jacksonville, and Coldwater.
The weather is warming up and spring is just around the corner at Miller Sand and Landscape Supply. I'm Craig Miller and we've got something for everyone. From bulk materials like sand, gravel, and mulch to beautiful outdoor decor to make your outdoor living space the envy of the neighborhood. See our beautiful selection of Mazzarelli fountains, flowers to brighten your garden, and an outdoor center loaded with beautiful decor. Whether you need a little or a lot, visit Miller Sand and Landscape Supply.
Serving East Alabama for over 20 years, Samco is your local convenient, clean, and friendly gas station. Fill up your tank with gas, diesel, or your favorite snacks and drinks. Samco has 48 locations to serve you in Calhoun, Etowah, Marshall, Talladega, and Cleburne counties. Samco is a proud community leader in giving back to help support local schools in East Alabama. For your convenient, clean, and friendly gas station needs, it's Samco.
The Point at JSU is an off-campus student housing property located a half a mile away from Jacksonville State University. The Point offers fully furnished, pet-friendly, 2 bedrooms and 4 bedroom units. Resident experience is our #1 priority, therefore we do offer the following amenities: a resort-style pool, fitness center, basketball and volleyball court, and dog park. We would love for you to come see our property, so give us a call at 256-376-8317 to schedule a tour today.
The Apothecary in the Square, Jacksonville, Alabama. Glad you're with us. Our Monday night get-together with Coach Rich Rodriguez. The coach will not be with us next Monday after the bye week, but we will get together with him again the week thereafter. So, and I believe you could probably happy to have a Monday night off. Mondays are long days, aren't they?
They are, yeah. Mondays, actually Sundays are long days too, but Monday's the longest day, and typically is not with the players because they have the players off. We have so much, like I said, self-scouting and opponent scouting and doing all that. This week, I didn't check to see if the coaches were still there when I left, but there's some of them still up there, I know.
Let's talk about your coaches. You've got a weekend off, off as far as no game is concerned. You talked about the guys going recruiting. Who goes where? What's this guy's specialty or that guy's specialty, or is it broken up by geography? How do you do it?
As everybody knows, in college athletics, recruiting is the lifeblood of your program, and you have to do it every day, not just on the days you have open dates or what have you. And we had, I think, 60-some recruits there Saturday, so that was a good thing, and it was a really good turnout. I think they had a good time with the atmosphere and all that. And so Friday's going to be, a lot of our coaches of the 10 position coaches, probably the majority of them will be at a high school game or a junior college game somewhere. Thursday night or Friday during the day, and then Saturday we'll be back on campus.
I want to talk about JUCO transfers, but before we do that, let's take a question from a young lady here at the Apothecary. Good evening.
Hi.
Hi there.
Hi. I just wanted to know, well, one thing, I saw the video on social media where you gave the guys the day off because they did so well, and then they all went crazy. Yeah. And then you said something else to them, and then they even went more crazy. Yeah. And you couldn't understand what you said, so what did you tell them? That was my first
The first one was, hey, you got Sunday off. Hey, big news. And I said, well, you know what? You got Monday off too. So 2 days off, and they were. I had to stop there. I said, okay, now Tuesday we got to get back to work. But they hadn't had a lot of time off, so 2 days in a row is good for them.
Okay, and the next question is, I know that Kennesaw, I think they're like 0-3 right now. Right. But you can't really go by that. And I know that in the past that they've been very good. So compared to last year, how good is Kennesaw, and what do you see?
It's unique because last year we didn't play them, and they were in the transition like we were. Yep. But they approached it a little differently. They redshirted a lot of their starters and only played 9 games total. Could play 12. They only played 9 games and just played their veterans just in 4 games so they could get redshirted. So they kind of saved a lot of their older upperclassmen for this year's team. So, they played 2 road games and three pretty good teams on their schedule, and they've played everybody pretty tough. So, and we've had, I was just looking at the stats, I think half the games we played with Kennesaw in our history has been in overtime.
Exactly.
Which is kind of unique. And we had a big battle with them 2 years ago here. I think it was an overtime game as well. So it's a rivalry game. It's probably the closest opponent we have, and it's going to be, I know it'll have a great atmosphere. So they're going to be a good team.
Thank you, ma'am, for your questions. And, you take a look. I've got the numbers in front of me. In Conference USA, Kennesaw leads the conference in rushing, averaging 75 yards per game. Defensively, they are also doing well. They lead the conference in scoring defense at 31 points a game, and they lead the conference in total yardage allowed, or the best numbers or the least yardage allowed, 429 yards per game, which is also 16th in the country. So they have their ups, they have their downs.
Yeah, and I've got a lot of respect for Coach Bohannon. I've gotten to know him the last couple of years. We were in the League ASUN conference a couple of years ago together, and got to sit down and talk with him a little bit. He's very, very well respected. They started the program from scratch, whatever it was, 10 years ago or so, and have won a lot of games, been a great area to recruit. And he does it, he's always had a great coaching staff and does a great job with his kids, so we're going to have to be ready to play.
We were talking about recruiting before the break, and again, if you want to join us, folks, the phones are open, 256-369-1688. That's 256-369-1688. The junior college programs, of course, some states, Kansas, Mississippi, they've got spectacular JUCO programs. Do we have anything like that in this state to that degree? And when you recruit a kid from junior college, do you do it because he can contribute immediately?
Yeah, that's the same. You look at the JC guys a lot like you look at the portal guys. They're coming. I mean, you're not usually taking those guys to be a red shirt. You usually take them for a quicker fix than that. The Mississippi JCs are really good. There's a lot of talent. We're close enough to them, and a lot of my guys have recruited that before. I've recruited it before, that there's a lot of good players. Now, a lot of people go in and get them, but, there's good players there, which is close to us. That's the first junior college area we'll go to. And then there's obviously some good ones in Kansas.
Right.
There's some good ones in Texas, and we'll look at those as well. But the Mississippi JCs are probably our first priority as far as junior college goes. And then we'll go out west a little bit. I like for it to be within drivable distance because we have a better chance of not only getting them but keeping them.
Sure.
Right. So, but we've taken a few junior college guys, and they've worked out pretty well. But we're going to look at them a little bit more. Obviously we've got a lot of high school guys we're looking at, and we'll always keep the portal thing open too. So, I'm kind of, in fact, funny you say that, because my recruiting staff did a great job over this weekend of creating a comprehensive recruiting report about where we're at, what we've done in the last couple of years, who's panned out, who hasn't panned out, what we need to do better going forward. And so I'm studying that as we speak. And then on Wednesday, we're going to have a long recruiting meeting as a staff and say, okay, this is where it's headed. Now, what's different, college athletics is changing, seems like monthly, so we have to adjust as well. But we're going to look at what's best for Jack State right now in the recruiting area, what should we go after, and how we go about doing our business, because it's a challenging thing for sure.
Let's ask a question again about the junior college, because sometimes we're all a little bit, at least you and I and your others in the sport, we're a little too close, and we know a lot of the answers, but the listeners and viewers don't. What's the difference?
Well, a lot of times a guy goes to junior college because he didn't make the grades out of high school.
So it's basically that more so than...
But now you're finding more guys that have the grades to be eligible, but they didn't get the offer that they wanted. They didn't get a Division I offer. And so because of the portal, a lot of really good high school players probably aren't getting scholarships that maybe they used to get. And so in order to get looked at and not waste one of their 4 or 5 years in college, they go into a junior college for a year or two and go on from there. So the portal thing is actually, in a strange way, helped junior colleges get more talented players out of high school that maybe were late developing or or didn't get the offer they wanted. So you got to look at that as well. But there's still the ones that maybe struggled, and they just need to grow up or mature or what have you, and then go to junior college and do that. And the Mississippi JC coaches do as good a job as anywhere in the country of getting the guys, not just getting them eligible, but also playing some really good football, because there's some really good football players in the Mississippi JCs.
We're coming back. Let's go to the phones before we break away. Jana has been waiting to join us. Hey, Jana, welcome into the show.
Hey, how are y'all?
Hey, good. Thank you, ma'am.
Well, listen, I'm just wondering who decides what uniform you're going to wear at home?
Let's get down to the nitty-gritty here.
Yeah, that's an important question.
Yeah.
You know, most of the time it's the seniors.
Really?
You know, yeah, I just, there's obviously the dark jerseys at home and the white ones on the road. And normally, this past weekend, I didn't ask because I knew Southern Miss was going to wear the white, and so I wanted to wear, we're going to wear the red shirt, and because it was going to be a little warm, I didn't want to wear the red pants as well. I wanted to wear the white pants. So, but typically, I'll meet with the seniors. I don't like, you could wear a white helmet, and they can wear a white helmet, but I always like wearing a different color helmet than the other team too. So, but typically the seniors, I ask the seniors, and they tell me what they want to wear, and we wear it.
Good thing you don't coach at Oregon.
Oh yeah, they got all kinds of combinations.
929,000 combinations of uniforms.
Yeah, we're not like that.
No. Thank you for your question, Jana. We appreciate it. We're going to break away. The coach and I are coming back to put a bow on this show before too much longer. And again, if you'd like to join us, 256-369-1688. 256-369-1688 as highlights of the Gamecock win over the Golden Eagles take us to break here on the Rich Rodriguez Show.
At Southern States Bank, we pride ourselves on being your bank. We're your neighbors and involved in the community. We're the bank featuring the Southern Rewards checking account, a cashback account with no ATM fees. We are on the cutting edge and always have a smiling face to help you out. So come to Southern States Bank, where we are committed to great service and being a great neighbor. Let us be the bank for you and your business.
Hello everyone, Tony Russell, General Manager of Sunny King Ford. And boy, do we have unbelievable markdown on used cars that you do not want to miss. It's time to make the best deal on a used car. Shop our wide selection of used trucks and premium pre-owned models. Don't wait another day. Come by and see me, Tony Russell, and let's make a custom deal for you. Find great savings on pre-owned used cars at Sunny King Ford on the sunny side of the street, Anniston, Oxford.
At Campers Unlimited, we offer a no-pressure experience, no hidden fees, and great service after the sale, making us one of the fastest-growing RV dealers in the Southeast. With our second location in Oxford, we offer a great selection of over 220 campers from top brands, including Grand Design. Our mission is to help friends and family spend time together in the great outdoors. At Campers Unlimited, you aren't just a customer, you are family. Check out our inventory at campersunlimited.net or come see us at Gaston or Oxford.
Hi, everybody. I'm Eli Gold, and I want to invite you to tune in to Jack State Live, a look at the campus and athletic department at Jack State, followed by the Coach Rich Rod Show, where we will break down and preview the next football game for the Gamecocks. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Eli Gold. Coach Rich Rodriguez is alongside, and we are live here at the Apothecary Draft House on the square in Jacksonville, and we are joined now by Ed. He's on the phone in Fairfield, Alabama. Hey, Ed, good evening. Apothecary Draft House on the square. That or it's his first day with the new telephone. Either way, Ed, give us a call back if you'd like. Hey, how is the new football building working out? Is it all?
It's been great. You know, a lot of people are seeing it at the home games for the first time, whether it's recruits or donors or people, and it's a fantastic building. I think it's been 2.5, 3 years since we waited to do it, and everything looks well. And the people I think that have gone there and had seats at the suites, people that have gone there to tour it. I've been really impressed, and I hope they look at it. I mean, more and more, our support has been really good, and we're pushing for more and more support all the time. We appreciate everybody that's given to us and helped our program out, because we couldn't have us. It's expensive to have a Division I football. It's expensive to be Division I athletics, and we've just a tremendous amount of support. We appreciate that, and we certainly needed it.
Coach, how difficult or not is it to take that name recognition when you're out there recruiting? Do kids know of Jacksonville State?
They do, and I think we've had a long, great history, and people know about our school, but I still think, and I've said this since I've been there for 3 years now, or 2.5 years, that it's still a little bit of a secret, not just the athletic portion of it, but also the town that we're in. It's a great small town, the campus that we have, the education that they get here. I mean, everybody that goes, and it was nice at homecoming, seeing a lot of players come back, and everybody you talk to had a great experience here, educationally, socially, and all that. I've not talked to, I don't know if they'd say anything, but I've not talked to anyone that said, well, it was okay. No, that was just it was 100%. I loved it there. Everybody you talk to that went to school here, and our enrollment I know is higher than it's ever been, and a lot of people deserve credit for that, our administration, our faculty, our recruiters, and everybody. But I think that hopefully the secret is out. Jack State is, I think, one of the best places in the South to go to school, and I'm hoping more people will come here.
And of course, we in the bowl game last year, winning that bowl game sure as heck didn't hurt.
Yeah, and we're getting a lot of TV exposure in all of our sports. I know Shannon, I think they were here. Our bowling team won a national championship. But it's more than just athletics. It's the whole community. It's the atmosphere. It's a very close-knit campus, and like I said, seeing homecoming, see everybody come back, and the times, when they all reminisce about their times, and the stories probably get embellished a little bit, but that being said, this is a wonderful place to go to school.
That's part of storytelling. Ed is back with us now in Fairfield. Ed, thanks for calling back. Hello.
Hey, how are y'all? Sorry about that.
No, that's quite all right.
Good.
Hey, so y'all were talking about uniforms earlier. When are we debuting those all-black Empire-looking uniforms?
It was nice, huh? We kind of snuck that out there. Our folks did a nice job of doing that. I'm not sure. I think we're going to try to have a blackout.
Really?
In one of these games. I think my daughter Raquel, she'll probably post it whenever that comes up. But I know our players are going to be really excited about that part of it. And a lot of people have said, well, it's not. No, we've had black uniforms in many of our sports over the years.
Sure.
It's not an all-the-time thing, but on occasionally, I think just about every one of our sports teams has used, a black jersey or black shorts or black pants or something like that. So we're gonna break them out, but I'm not sure which game it is yet. It'll probably be one of the night games.
Yeah, I'm sure. Hey, do you go to many of the other events around campus?
Yeah, I love college athletics. I mean, more so. I mean, any athletics, but I love college athletics way more than the pro game, and because it's so important, and I think you get to see the emotional a whole lot more from the fans and the student athletes. But yeah, our men's basketball games. I love basketball. I watched the whole championship bowling match from the first roll of the pin to the last one, which was really exciting. I like baseball. I've been to our softball game. We got a great softball program, so. It's fun. We got a lot of really good student athletes here and some great coaches.
A couple of volleyball matches coming up at home this week on Friday and Saturday against Western Kentucky. So it's conference time upon us now.
Yeah, all the fall sports, and we got a great group. Greg Seitz has done a great job of building our athletic staff, in my opinion. We got really good coaches in all of our sports, and so we're in a good spot athletically.
Do you give out a game ball, player of the game?
I didn't do anything the first 3 weeks. Imagine that.
Yeah.
But But we are giving them out tomorrow. We usually have an offensive player of the game and a defensive player of the game, and then we pick a scout team guy from offensive defense,
Right.
and then I pick or the coaches pick what we call a hard edge player of the week, just somebody that just gave an extra effort above and beyond. And so, but I'm going to I usually do that on Sundays, but since I gave the players off, we'll give that to them tomorrow. So I won't announce that until tomorrow afternoon.
That's quite all right. I understand totally. And I'll tell you, with all of that said and done, you had to have been, like we say, wrapping up our show tonight, you had to have been awfully pleased and proud the way everything came together on Saturday.
They did, because it's hard when you play, and don't win, and you kind of see that it's coming closer and closer. But I like to coach a whole lot more off a win than you do off a loss, just because everybody's got a better pep in their step, and then you play the game to try to win. And I know how much hard work our players put in there. So to have that winning locker room there's nothing like it. I've said it for years and years and years. And there's a lot of things that are joyous in life. I don't know if anything ever beats a winning locker room.
And the timing couldn't have been better, because you didn't want to go 0-4 heading into an off week. Now
yeah, I would have made a whole lot of excuses not to be here tonight. So, that made it easier to come on down.
Yeah, well, listen, we appreciate it as always, and we won't see you next week, because it is the off week coming off, heading towards the game against KSU. But I wish you all the best, and great to see you. Congrats on the win.
Thank you, too, and appreciate all the fans' support and the great showing that they showed on Saturday.
They sure did. Coach Rich Rodriguez joining us here at the Apothecary Draft House. We're going to come right back. We're going to take a look at other events around the campus. That follows these messages here on the Gamecocks Sports Network.
Hey everybody, I'm Bill Bubba Bussey, one of the assistant athletic directors here at Jack State and the director of broadcasting. We always want you to come out to the games. There's nothing that can replace the sights, sounds, and interaction of being at a football game. But if you can't make it, we offer several options to bring the action to you. Many of the Jack State games are broadcast nationally on TV. The other home games we produce in-house and can be seen on ESPN Plus streaming platform, hosted by legendary broadcaster Eli Gold. If you're driving or have your hands full, we also offer radio coverage through the Gamecock Radio Network. The coverage you hear from the voice of the Gamecocks, Mike Paris. Mike has put you in the middle of some of the biggest and best moments in Jack State history for over 40 years. You can find more information at jackstatesports.com. And for now, enjoy the game and go Gamecocks.
What can you buy for $10? A hat? A milkshake? 166 channels plus live sports? That's right, for only $10 you can get 166 channels of classic TV shows and movies, including the latest news update from all around the world and local sports. Just simply go to 24ctn.com and click download, and then for only $10 you can have access to the best TV available.
Come out and check out the Alabama Tractor Difference. We can take care of all your needs of parts, sales, and service for RTVs, zero turns, and tractors and construction equipment. See us here in Lincoln at 620 Speedway Industrial Drive. Or come visit us here in Asheville at 275 6th Avenue, or give us a call at 205-594-7000.
Final moment or so of our show here this evening at the Apothecary Draft House. I'm Eli Gold, and again, a big thank you tonight to Robbie Fields, the director of golf, and the women's golf coach, and of course, Coach Rich Rodriguez, who celebrates the victory. The Gamecock football team is off this coming weekend. It's a bye week following that 44-7 win over Southern Miss. The team will return to action on Friday, October the 4th, with a trip to meet the Owls of Kennesaw State. That'll be in Georgia. And in case you give a hoot, the Owls are 0-3 to begin the season. Meanwhile, that's what's going on in the area this week as far as the men and women's sports are concerned. Men today and tomorrow playing in the GMAC Invitational. That's in Oneonta, Alabama. Soccer won big today against Mississippi Valley State. Then on Thursday, soccer is at the soccer complex, 7 p.m. for the start of that one. And then with Sam Houston in town, Friday, volleyball at the Coliseum. That'll be a 6 o'clock start. Volleyball against Western Kentucky. Those two teams will play again on Saturday. It'll be a 2 o'clock matinee at the Coliseum. And of course, don't forget, in between all of that, you've got women's tennis on the road in Charleston, men's and women's cross country. They're on the road in Arkansas. You've got men's golf next week. They'll be playing in the men's Bubba Barnett Intercollegiate. And then next Sunday, soccer against Louisiana Tech. That'll be a 1 p.m. start. So it doesn't matter what sport you're into. It's going on here on campus this week. And we certainly hope you can make your plans to tune in and be part of all that goes on. Again, a big thank you tonight to Robbie Fields, who joined us, the director of golf and the women's golf coach, and Rich Rodriguez talking about all the successes of this past weekend. I'll tell you, take a look at it. 273 rushing yards against Southern Miss over the weekend. You got Tyler Huff with 5.6 yards per carry. He is now number 2 in Conference USA in that statistics. All the interceptions, 18th best in America. Jacksonville State is, as far as the intercept numbers are concerned. So whatever element of the football team you're pulling for, you've seen some successes, heightened, of course, by this past weekend's 44-7 win. A big thank you to all the folks here at the Apothecary Draft House for their hospitality. We will talk to you again next week. The coach won't be with us, but we'll be here, and we'll have tons to talk about when you look at all that's going on at Jacksonville State University. But until then, I'm Eli Gold. Thanks so much for being with us. Have a good evening, and go Gamecocks.
What can you buy for $10? A hat? A milkshake? 166 channels plus live sports? That's right, for only $10 you can get 166 channels of classic TV shows and movies, including the latest news update from all around the world and local sports. Just simply go to 24ctn.com and click download, and then for only $10 you can have access to the best TV available.
Come out and check out the Alabama Tractor Difference. We can take care of all your needs of parts, sales, and service for RTVs, zero-turns, and tractors and construction equipment. See us here in Lincoln at 620 Speedway Industrial Drive. Or come visit us here in Asheville at 275 6th Avenue, or give us a call at 205-594-7000.
I want to live. The leading cause of death of young Americans like me is gun violence, and oftentimes tied to substance misuse. NBA, NFL, NCAA, most of you look like me, and our communities need you now more than ever. Let's make I Want to Live more than just a hashtag. Let's make it a movement. I am a baller against bullets.
Hey everybody, I'm Bill Bubba Bussey, one of the assistant athletic directors here at Jack State and the director of broadcasting. We always want you to come out to the games. There's nothing that can replace the sights, sounds, and interaction of being at a football game. But if you can't make it, we offer several options to bring the action to you. Many of the Jack State games are broadcast nationally on TV. The other home games we produce in-house and can be seen on ESPN Plus streaming platform, hosted by legendary broadcaster Eli Gold. If you're driving or have your hands full, we also offer radio coverage through the Gamecock Radio Network. The coverage you hear from the voice of the Gamecocks, Mike Paris. Mike has put you in the middle of some of the biggest and best moments in Jack State history for over 40 years. You can find more information at Jack